Alright, so now we're basically trapped between 4 different factions I don't trust, which are the Bureau, the Hiss, my brother, and Polaris. I don't really have much reason to trust basically any characters in this entire game, or factions, or anyone. They all seem to be up to bad things and no good. The closest thing to a positive character is maybe elements of the Bureau, or at least they're framed as the protagonistic force, but they're the ones that kidnapped my brother in the first place and did all sorts of other iffy things, and also constantly do experiments that get people killed and don't seem to be that careful about it. So I don't know.
I don't know what else I'm hoping to find here.
Dylan. Can we talk?
I'd like to tell you about a dream I had last night.
Off to a good start.
Okay. I'm listening.
I was back in Ordinary before all of this happened. But in the dream, I was alone. It was just me. I was the only child. A girl. My name was Jesse Faden. But then the Bureau came and caught me, brought me back here, locked me up. Have you ever noticed that our names, Jesse, Dylan, they could be girls' names, boys' names, could be anything. Don't you find that weird? I find that weird.
Sure.
What the hell was that? Is he trying to mess with me?
You are armed through time. The thunderstorm distorts you. White pearls, but yellow and red in the eye.
Important line of dialogue earlier. They said, we used to do everything together. It's innocuous. It could mean a lot of other things. But then he has a dream about how he used to be Jesse Faden. We encountered a slide projector. We were brought here. He was brought here because of the slide projector. It did something. We don't currently know what the slide projector did, but what if it took somebody and split them into 2 people? What if we were Jesse Faden of indeterminate gender and sex? And then we became a boy and a girl named Jesse and Dylan. What if we always did everything together because we were the same person?
Maybe Dylan's still in there. Maybe there's a way to reach him.
I'd like to talk to my brother, please. Dylan?
Dylan would like to tell you about a dream he had just now.
This again?
I was going to be the new director of this place. I helped you get a job here so that we could be together. You were an office assistant. You'd make coffee and deliver the mail, and there was always plenty of work to do. And it stayed that way forever and ever. It was nice. Really nice.
That's debatable.
But here's the strange thing. The dream shifted, and none of it was real anymore. It was a game. We were in a game, and it was a fucking boring game. But you couldn't stop playing. And then it shifted again. Or maybe it was another dream already. Or maybe I'm just confusing them. But in this other dream, it was more like a musical. This is an ordinary song about an ordinary girl from an ordinary town. It's the ordinary story. She worked an ordinary job in an ordinary office and something. And that's all I can remember of that dream.
Maybe that's for the best.
You are a worm through time. Who distorts you. Happiness comes.
And it was a fucking boring game.
The inverted is made right.
Yeah, it is a third-person shooter.
Push the fingers through.
Maybe I can learn more about the hiss from him.
Can we talk?
I just had an interesting dream.
Oh, shit.
That's fascinating, but let's talk about the hiss for a change, yeah?
This dream was about the hiss.
Best I'm gonna get.
In my dream, the hiss had broken free of this prison, this house. I'd set it free. And the president himself was there to welcome us. He was the first one to take the hiss in. Spread the word. At first, many people thought it was horrifying. That he was horrifying. But also, many people who heard his words wanted to welcome the hiss in. And slowly, more and more of them came around until the whole world was brought together by the hiss. It was wonderful.
Okay, thanks for sharing that.
For the record, that will never happen. Not as long as I'm alive.
The thunderstorm distorts you.
The threat of hive mind completely uniting everyone into one conscious being.
Push the fingers through the surface.
No choice. How would the president be the first one to be infected? Is he gonna come here? You think some guy on the street would be the first person to be infected, and thousands of other people before it got to the president? We're not even near DC. Not that they necessarily have to be there right now. President moves around.
After the song,
I love his performance, by the way. At first it felt a little stilted in an awkward video gaming way, and then it became clear that it's actually stilted in a really deliberate sort of way.
under the conceptual reality behind
They've got a
this
good style to
reality,
this.
You must want these waves to drag you on.
Maybe I'm just here to punish myself.
Any new dreams you'd like to share, Dylan?
I'm glad you asked, sister. This dream, like all dreams now, felt very real. Like reality. And reality now feels like a dream. Maybe it's all a dream. Maybe it's all real.
Dream where my brother endlessly tells me about his dreams.
I was in a dark place, and there was a dark man there. His name was Mr. Door, and he told me that there are many worlds, side by side, on top of each other, some inside of others. In one world, there was a writer who wrote a story about a cop. In another world, the cop was real. Door said he himself was in all of them at the same time, endlessly shifting between them. I asked him how I could reach these worlds. I wanted to bring the hiss there. But he didn't want to help me. He didn't like the idea. What did he know?
I'm not wild about the idea myself.
Through time, the thunderstorm
What did he know?
Happiness comes, white pearls, but yellow and red in the eye. Through a mirror, the inverted is made right.
So first there was a reality where he was going to be director.
You've always
And then one that was a game.
stand around you while
This one.
you can almost hear our words.
Then one with a musical.
Happens more and more
I wonder, like, will we beat the game and then it becomes a musical? Like during the credits or whatever, you hear that song, An Ordinary Town with an Ordinary Girl.
Here we go again. Once more with feeling.
Let me guess. You want to tell me about your dream?
Yes. Yes. In fact, I'm having a dream right now.
Oh. That's new.
In this dream, I'm standing in the corner watching Jesse and Dylan talk about this very dream. This very dream! He said just now! And repeated it again now! I'm standing there and watching, and that's all I can do. It's as if I'm trapped there. And that's all I have to say about that dream.
Okay, Dylan. That's good.
Is he still in there? Or is this the hiss playing mind games? I don't know.
The suggestions that he's experiencing the other camera angles that they were showing. Like his consciousness is placed in multiple locations. He's up there. He was over there watching us. Is he the game? Is his dream the game itself? He experiences whatever I show. Like, are his dreams my perspective? Or something? Hard to say. We have a few different things going on now. Let's go check on my favorite nightmare. Can you help me out here, waypoints? Fuck. I don't. The ashtray may. Okay, let's check again. I'm so bad at navigating this place sometimes. Alright, so. Active threshold. Below central research. So, research. Active threshold. There we go. I'm like, which waypoint is it? I can't tell. Oh shit, I gotta get back to the fridge guy. I've left him. Oh, I'm a bad person. Oh well, already here. That was weird, but okay. Wait, this isn't a great place for me to spawn into. There's a whole combat zone between me and where I'm trying to go. Oh wait, but I can just fly over here. That's good. In fact, that kind of flight ability might be what I need in order to actually continue around here, because it was a dead end otherwise. But now I can reach some of those distant locations I saw.
I finished synthesizing the samples. Ingest this pill, then go and find the source of the mold. Only there can we begin to understand how to stop it.
So you promise I won't end up walking around covered in mold?
Ugh, the pill will prevent any biological infection by the mold.
Take a mystery pill because a rude lady in a hazmat suit tells you to. Great idea, Jesse.
Ugh. Honestly, did you want me to wrap it in cheese?
Not the taste, the smell. It stinks in here now.
Good. That means the pill is working. The worse it smells, the safer you'll be. Now go. Find the source.
Have you worked with Emily Pope?
Our paths have crossed. Darling arranged for us to have a coffee. A meeting of the minds, he called it. She's talented. I can certainly see her doing well here.
I feel like there's a but coming.
But she's drunk a bit too much of the Bureau's proverbial Kool-Aid. She shouldn't be afraid to forge ahead on her own. Science is skepticism. Everything must be questioned before the truth can emerge.
So is Darling your boss?
If you insist on clinging to such outdated hierarchies, then yes. However, I would argue that our fields are too dissimilar for one to manage the other. Of course, Darling would much prefer to find his own miracle solution to the Bureau's fungal frustrations. He always needs to be the hero.
So tell me again how you came to work at the Bureau?
Well, like I said, I was brought in as a special advisor, a temporary position, you see. Although that's not the whole truth. I was employed here for a time, straight out of university. After a decade of admittedly fascinating work in threshold research and regulation, I began to chafe under the bureaucracy. I needed a change. Not that academia was so different.
And then the mold happened.
About 4 months ago, yes. Since my departure from the Bureau, they hadn't been able to find my equal in threshold analysis. Darling and I had kept in touch over the years, meeting at conferences and the like. He called me, and I booked a flight. I've never been able to say no to a man with a dangerous alien biosphere. I had to leave my post in the middle of term, but so be it.
So she's a professor. That explains a lot.
The mold seems to be having some weird effects on things.
Indeed. Even people are susceptible. The fungus grows rapidly within the chest cavity, killing the host. Luckily, one must ingest the stalks to become infected.
Don't eat the mold. Okay.
We've always cremated the infected bodies after autopsy, but I believe there may be another stage of maturity. A blooming, if you will.
I never thought the word blooming would sound so horrible.
Thanks for the information.
My pleasure.
I may have made a mistake. The guy back at HQ might have had new dialogue.
Let's carry on then.
Because the dialogue choices, when there's new dialogue versus old dialogue, it's like the difference between one shade of gray and another shade of gray. It's not great for being able to clearly delineate when new dialogue is there versus you just repeating the same old dialogue. I might want to check in on that guy later. Investigate the pit.
This must be the pit Underhill was talking about.
So suddenly, I can get around a little bit better. I'll have to see what I can do about that. Balloon procedures. Containment procedure. It's the get well balloon. Aw. Get well soon. Item must be kept away from animals. The cell must be regularly cleaned of the black substance the item produces. All cleaning tools must be along with the black substance itself. Item is a novelty balloon made of silver mylar. On its face is a colorful message to get well, surrounded by cartoon hearts. A ribbon is attached to the balloon. Item has not stopped floating after a considerable amount of time in the Bureau, which just does not hover through the use of helium. The item produces a dark-colored sticky substance which drips down its ribbon. Oh. The irony. A nice, friendly get-well balloon that's actually an evil infectant. I wonder if that's what happened. Ooh, Pierce Zoom Boost. It's 18% zoom, but this is damage while aiming, 40%. I can actually test this out now. Don't get to fire that often with this thing, so I'll have to be careful. Not quite the spammer I had before, but the spam wasn't necessarily worth that much, considering it was tiny, plinky bullets that barely did anything before. Where am I trying to go? So when she goes, thankfully I can now tell, she automatically transitions from floating to slow falling, so I don't have to worry about like, oh god, I fall to my death now because I ran out of flying juice. Like, you're fine. Okay, seriously, where am I trying to go though? I'm lost again, I think. Investigate the pit. Travel deeper in the active threshold. Shit. I thought my flying ability was gonna let me get deeper. I thought that ledge up there was where I needed to go. There must be some spot I never found yet. I never encountered a location where I couldn't go any further because like the mold was too strong or something. So if this pill unlocked access to somewhere, I don't know where that somewhere is. Shit, I'm so turned around. Oh, this stuff, the poison. Does the poison... That's what it is. I'm immune to this poison now. Gotcha. And using my slow fall ability, I can jump down that hole. Okay, we're all cut up now. Well, this is hellish. Hooray. Certainly could be better. Level 9? Fuck. That's not great news for me. We'll see how this goes. This place was already tough before.
God. The further I go, the worse it smells.
Well, that's not helpful. Alright, so the blasts are garbage. At least for damage. Maybe I'll find that against guards it's stronger. Do they both stay my soldiers at once? They do. I can build up my zombie horde. Does just enough damage.
They're all dead. These things killed them all. There are so many. You're listening. Get out. No.
Not exactly illuminating, but okay. He seemed weirdly unaggressive, didn't he? He was just kind of pacing back and forth, almost like he was politely waiting for me to finish listening to the audio log, which I appreciate. Oh, the mannequins. Oh, they're crash test dummies. We have to go deeper. Oh, this is looking dark wood
Is
now.
that the source?
Uh-oh.
It's kind of pretty.
Uh-oh. The fuck? Bad, bad, bad. Oh boy. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. Ah, shit. Fuck. Holy shit. Alright, well, good news is we can damage it a lot. The bad news is fucking fuck. Alright, so no enemies die, which means there's no healing in the environment, so I have to get through it with 1 health bar, which is... Fuck. Checkpoints in this game. Unnecessary, bro. Ow, fuck. Is there something on the ground back here? What is that?
Squad Captain Lopez reporting on Expedition 17B. At the formation now. Visually, no distinction from the previous visit. The link detectors are still standing. One arch has a light flashing, so we're gonna give the area a once-over. Then we'll head back. Lopez out.
That's audio... Ah, shit. That's audio log number 1? How many of them are there? I've completely failed to find them, apparently. They're just kind of in the ground, on the ground in the muck. Pretty hard to detect. Balloon supplement. The item was used in the children's ward of a local hospital, and witnesses do not recall where the balloon came from. Therapy dogs, part of a program called meant to comfort the sick children, were noticeably attracted to the item. They reportedly jumped at the item, licking it when they could. The children claimed the dogs began walking through the halls of the hospital at night, howling in a low pitch. One child described the sound as singing. A few days later, the dogs were all discovered dead. A dark substance leaking from their hospital staff called the local authorities, who called the CDC. Bureau agents intercepted the call and arrived at the scene some hours later. The item was taken for evaluation, along with the remains of the dogs. That's like a straight up Junji Ito fucking story. Ah, like, oh. Like the Uzumaki hospital. Dogs being attracted to a balloon and they won't stop, and then they just start dying and oozing. Oh, dead dogs, sad. Hello, bye-bye. Ah, Jesus! You pack more of a punch than I remember. Damn. Oh, my health's down. Now I've got to try to recover it, or I can't fight the fight, do the boss fight at all. It's rough that you can't really recover health outside of combat. 'Cause that means that you have to do maintenance between fights. There we go. I guess maybe part 2 was just the, oh god, they're all dead message I read before.
Is that the source? It's kind of pretty. Nope. Not pretty.
Shit. God damn. Fuck. Fuck. God damn it. Ugh. This is rough. It's rough. We're almost there though. Like it takes a lot of damage. So like we're maybe we'll get it the next try.